There we are. Can everyone hear me? Yes? Thanks to Shane, Katie is not here and she sent me her link and sign in. It's like, oh, we need you to verify. Katie is on a plane. So she wishes she could be here, but she is on a plane flying back from California. So she asked me if I would host. I'm very excited to host. So everyone, let me hear what has been happening this week. What is going on? What have you been doing? I don't think I have you muted. Okay.
Oh, is anyone else trying going? Otherwise, I'll go.
Go ahead.
All right. So, of course, there's gnats out here I'm fighting, so don't worry about me flopping them. But anyway, I recently did a serve in Pocahontas, and there's this. I was talking to the cops. I make friends with cops and on the serve anyway. But we were talking real estate, and they said there was like a old trailer park. It used to be a trailer park there in Pocahontas, which is they have a high need for Section 8 there. It's hard enough trying to find housing in this town of 2,000 people. Anyways, so yeah, there used to be a trailer park there. It's all empty. They still have the hookups there, but it's just grassland basically in town.
That's
And
exciting.
yeah, so I actually went ahead and called. I went and took pictures of the sign there, and I called the people today, the real estate agent. Oh, he's talking.
You got a little what's the word? Echoey.
Oh, do I have an echo?
Now we're good. I don't know what happened. We're good now. We're good. You're doing great.
So anyway, I called Farm and Auction, who was in charge of that, and they said the person just dropped the price on this 2.8-acre little piece of land, which looked like it held like 8 to 10 trailers on it. He just dropped the price to 1,000, but they're really eager to sell it.
Yeah.
Really. I was like, well, I got these 3 houses I'm trying to sell, so I don't, but she said you could make an offer contingent of you selling a house or 2 or 3, whatever it takes. They might work with you on that. So I'm gonna stop and see her on Thursday. And on my way to Spencer to go talk to Angie Prang about the Section 8 houses that we're working on for Northwest Iowa. So I was gonna go talk to her too, to have some boots on the ground up in Spencer area and whatnot. So because I had
That's awesome.
And then stop at my trailer park in Emmitsburg and take pictures and stuff and work on that. So yeah, that's all this week anyway, or Wednesday's plans.
It's a slow week for Megan.
Oh yeah. While working on project on this project house, so
I love it. I love it. Thank you. That's awesome. Who else? What else is happening? What is exciting?
Well, I was just at a conference in Florida and I got back home about an hour ago.
So, what kind of conference?
It was called Rebel Capitalist Live. It's George Gammon. If anyone follows George Gammon, it's really more of a male demographic. There's some real estate, some Bitcoin. Oh, I got to meet Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh,
hang out with Robert Kiyosaki a bit. So that was pretty cool. And the real estate radio guys were there. Yeah, so yeah, it was cool. I got some good ideas, met some other real estate people.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You didn't even come see me, Catherine. I'm so hurt.
You know what? I'm back in the heat of Puerto Rico. I just can't believe how hot it is here. Like being in Florida, like where it's nice, and then coming back here and it's like all my fans are running in the house and it's so hot. But yeah, we were in Tennessee. We went to Nashville, Pelham, Tennessee, then Chattanooga, spent 2 nights in Chattanooga, then down to Atlanta, then spent a night in Macon, Georgia, and then drove straight through to Orlando. Exact same hotel as Squat Up Summit, by the way. So that was pretty cool. So
So you were familiar with their hot tub already. You were good to go.
I was. In fact, that's where I met everyone yesterday. Like there was like a little group of us real estate investors. And it was a really good, that we connected and then we met a bunch of the speakers. I don't know if any of you know Jason Hartman. He's a Orange County, California guy. I think he has a podcast too. So just
Wow.
got to hang out with the speakers more and connect, and some hedge fund people and different cross platform kind of.
Just all the things for Catherine. Just all the I love that. I
Cool.
love that. Very cool.
Thank
Who
you.
else? Don't make me call you out, ladies, because I have people I'll just start bragging on who I know are doing great things. Don't make me call you out.
I'll jump in.
Yes, please.
Hi, girl. Good. Hey, well, really quick, like I went down to Houston the end of May and got the pleasure of sitting in the private money mastermind with Alexis Morgan and
Cool.
Abraham Gray. And then, of course, Chai and Prakish, who those are familiar here in the Texas area. So absolutely stoked to kind of get their insight as into the way that I can now look to try to help others fund their deals, as well as now start getting my own funds moving. So I am super excited as a blossoming PML. Thank you, all you ladies. Carrie Ann, I still need to check in with you, but super excited. Yes.
I love that. That is fun. That is fun. And blossom, my dear, blossom.
Yes. I'll be reaching out.
I love it. I love it. I have things. I have things, ladies. Who else? Anyone else? Or I will just go on my things and call people out and maybe toot my own horn a bit because I have exciting things too. Anyone? I know Sandra. Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it, Sandra.
Oh,
Where's Jada?
no, go ahead and call Sandra. It's fine.
She was up for just a second.
Sorry,
No,
I just joined, so I'm not sure what's happening right now. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. Okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, well then I'll go then while
Yes, please.
while she's getting herself together. Okay, so I have been working on closing a townhome from a friend of mine whose mom passed away for 3 years. We finally closed the Friday before Labor Day or Memorial Day. I got the keys Wednesday. I demoed the bathroom by myself on Thursday. I had the roll-off crew that came and worked with me on Saturday. So there was 2 guys and myself. We took 1,000 square foot of tile out. We took 2 bathrooms out. We took cabinets out. We took it down to the studs. I found out that I have termites. So we took it all the way down to the studs, like the whole entire house, except the kitchen cabinets, which I'm going to just do the doors and the cabinets.
At this point, keep them.
Yeah, and
No,
I'm like, whatever we can say, let's do it. And so then today the termite guy came, and so now it's almost like Humpty Dumpty. Now we got to put it back together again.
That's exciting though. 3 years?
3 years we have worked on this. Yes, for 3 years. And so we finally closed on it, and it's like, but it was a sibling thing. And you know how siblings are, they always want to fight, and one wants to keep it and one wants to live there for free. And she had been, so it was finally time for everybody to go their separate ways. So I'm going to turn it into a rental. And so
You are speaking truth to my soul of things that I am dealing with.
Yes.
In ways, Jada.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's I had to go through it myself with my dad and my uncle passing away back to back in 22. And
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and then their sister decided she was going to sue me right after that. So I'm happy to help any way that I can, because it gets really messy. And so, like I said, this one took 3 years to finally get it clear closed. So
that is, like I said, I am living this
Yeah.
So I'm gonna raise
Just
the,
wait it out. It's gonna happen.
honey, it's been 11 years.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. So when I say like I feel this,
yes. Well,
so deep,
it's
so
gonna
deep in
happen.
my soul, so deep in my soul. Way to go, though. Way to go.
Yeah.
And I will reach out if I
Yes.
need someone to, help me bury bodies or something. Because
I can help you do that too,
you
because the
ladies are
guy,
here for me. This is a safe space.
that's right. It's not being recorded, right?
I mean, Katie's got my back. It's fine.
That's right. No, it's really a daunting process to go through, but after going through it with my dad and my uncle and their sister, like, notice I didn't call her my aunt. She's now their sister, and so now it's kind of like I if I can get through that, I truly feel like I can get through anything. So
100%. 100%.
yes.
Props to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
I love that.
You're
Okay.
gonna finish this. You're gonna get to the finish line too.
I mean, it'll happen.
It will.
Okay, who else? Do we have Sandra back? Cassandra, anyone? Who do we have? I saw April for a minute.
I'm
I have
here.
something. Oh, there you go.
Let's hear it.
Recording in progress.
Ooh, we're in stereo. Katie, you don't get to be on here.
Sorry, was that me going next? I was switching from my
Yeah,
computer.
you're good. Yeah, go ahead, April.
Let
Let's
me
hear
go.
it.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can. It's my camera here too. Got a lot going on right now.
Yes, you do.
So hello everyone. It's so good to see everyone. So the house, that waterfront property that I was working on, we're supposed to close on that on the 10th, but I got it extended to the 24th just in case. But the good news is I have everything all in order, and everyone that's come by to look at the house, because I'm doing a hard money lender and they're funding it 100% because the LTV is like 62%. It's just an insane deal.
Oh,
And but every contractor that comes to look at it is like, how much do you want for this? And half of them are like, let me know when it's done. And the other half are like, you don't have to lift a finger. Can I buy this? And I'm like, what? So I'm really excited that looks like I won't have any trouble with a buyer. So now I'm kicking around. Do I want to do the project? Do I want to keep it moving? So that's what I got.
all good options, though.
Yeah.
All good options. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Let's just buy it. Trailblazers, ladies. We're gonna buy it.
I think everybody says it's their dream house because it has water access at a boat slip. And so it is a waterfront community. And then 2 other homes went up for sale. Well, one's under contract for the 1.1 million, and then another one went up for sale for 1.1. It's actually smaller than ours, but it does have a better water view. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, all of this looks so promising. And I thought I was going to have to get the help of Pace, but he's interested in it too. If for whatever reason I needed him, but I was able to get it on my own. So, but Molly and Bo loved it, so that was exciting. It just made me feel better about doing this particular deal. So
No, and you didn't need them. You knew this was a good deal. We talked about it at Squad Up.
I know.
Talked about it at our ladies brunch, and it sounded good then. You don't need Molly and Bo and Pace to tell you,
Well,
you're
I was
fine.
worried because the hard money lenders were like, you don't have any HUDs. And I'm like, well, we've done it. We just haven't done it on paper. And
Right.
so that's why I was just trying to get backups to my backups to my backups for in every direction. And so I ended up not needing them because they just use my W-2 income. So it's one of those hard money lenders that'll do that. So it just worked out. It's fine.
All the things. I
Yeah.
love it. Yay. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Because I know we were like jockeying for a second there for position. Sandra, I saw you for a minute. Are you coming back? I just start calling on people and pointing. You. I mean, I'll go. So I'm gonna go. This week, I had a wholesaler bring me a multi-family, and he just said, I need buyers. I said, I have some. I would like 50% of your assignment. And he said, I don't know, I have a team. I said, fine, I want 25 of your assignment, and I want first eyes on everything else you get for the next year. Put it in a JV. He signed it. He's under contract. I already have a buyer with someone who I'm partnering with. He's giving me equity. I'm going to be the capital investment partner. So I'm making money on like 3 fronts.
That's amazing.
I know, I'm super excited. And that's like the most boring thing that happened today. It's just things, right? So then I have a group of women that asked me to come to this. It's a Tampa women's professional group. And they said, we have this free group, but what we're going to do is we want to start like a club. And I'm like, cute, Babysitter's Club. I love those books. Let's have a club. I thought we were hanging out. It is a whole business with 15 women total who the founder just feels like are excelling and changing the world in their business. And so invited 12 people personally. I don't really know why I'm there. I felt so out of place. But I have 4 new people who, once they heard my intro, they were like, hey, can I get in on this? Like, I need to invest some money. I have lots of money. I need the tax write-offs and I want to make money on my money. So that happened. And then I also had someone ask me to start a fund for them. And he's like one of the biggest land developers in the United States. And he's like, yeah, I just need like $1 million at all times. So I don't feel like that's capital raising. I feel like that's a fund. So I could start it. I'll pay for all of it. So if there's a mentorship or something you want to join or go to, I'll pay for it. I'm like, fantastic. So we'll see where that goes. And then the hardest for anyone who's raised capital, the hardest sell is always your family because they look at you and as who you were when you were 14. And so I got my first 2 family members are in deals with me. And I sold it in such a way that makes me so proud because they both thanked me at the end of the call. Thank you so much for letting us get in on this deal. Oh, sweetie, you're so welcome that you're making me like $7,000. I'm so nice. You're so welcome. So yeah, that's happening. So it's been a big, busy week and all kinds of blessings. All the things are happening. Really quick. What do they call it? Housekeeping. So Katie's been in California. That's why she's not here. She's on a plane. I had a whole problem with the Zoom. It wanted a verification. And I'm like, she's on a plane. Shane signed in and I'm co-hosting and all the great stuff. But she has been with Oren Klaff, who is the author of the book Pitch Anything and Flip the Script. She's been with him all weekend. She has some new things that she's going to announce next week. It's going to be awesome and epic and all the things. And then I want you to remember to register. Next week is our Speak with Confidence call that Katie's going to do to train us how to speak in public for those who want to, need to. I feel like this is something that everyone could benefit from because who doesn't want to be better speaking in public? I'm going to put it in the chat, the link. Oh my gosh, I'm going in between 2 different screens. My husband thinks I just need all the screens. Bless him. So also, we have had a ton of new members that are invited by so many of you, which we love, but we're not getting emails. So we are going to have a bunch of new events that we're announcing through emails, polls. We want to know how you want this to grow. What do you want it to look like? What things you find the most value with? Those are only going to be in the emails. So if you don't have your email, please get your email. You know, we'll find a way to get it to you or for you to send it to us through the group. Here we go. There's that. Okay, there's the training. So tonight, do we have any new members really quick? Do we have anyone who's new, first timers?
It's my second time.
Did you introduce yourself the first time? Is it Kia?
It is Kia.
Welcome, Kia. I don't think you were introduced. Let's tell us about yourself, where you're from, what you're doing, all the stuff.
Hello, everybody. First and foremost, I'm from Easton, Pennsylvania. For those that don't know Pennsylvania, that's like the Lehigh Valley area, Allentown, Bethlehem, not too far from New York and Jersey. Recently joined Gator probably about 2 months ago, and was doing some networking with Marcia, and she connected me to the group. So last week was my first time, and I wanted to kind of keep going. So in terms of investing, have a long-term rental in Baltimore, which is where I'm from. Short-term rental down in Marco Island, which is our second home. We just rent it out when we're not there. And looking to, grow our portfolio and do more, getting into some Gator lending. Actually, I have a deal I need to underwrite, and I'm nervous because now I got to find the money.
Well, I will just say I'm good at finding the money. So you reach out to me, girl. We'll find something. We'll make it happen.
I definitely will.
Crystal says lots of money. Yeah.
Right?
All the ladies with all the money. It makes me want to dance. I just dance when I get happy. It's silly, but I like it. Oh, Diane said she's got your money. Yes. Okay. So unless there's anyone else who's new, hasn't been introduced before, we good? We'll move on. Cool. I don't think I've ever actually introduced myself formally. I've just kind of hopped on and kind of taken over a couple things at times. So I'm Carrie Ann. I have been full-time real estate for about 7 months. I'm a member of Sub 2. I am a member of Raising Private Money. I am a PML. I am a capital raiser. I am what they call in Sub 2 a connector. I hate that phrase. Miss Amy Van, which she's one of my very best. Amy Van Slambrook, she's here too. We call ourselves liaisons, which is far sexier and far more indicative of what we do, beginning to end, being involved in the deal, and just making sure it gets done right. So I'm in Northern Tampa. I have 6 kids. It's not my fault because my last one was supposed to be a single and it was triplets. So it's a house full and it's wonderful. So that's me and what I do. And I wanted to talk, Katie and I have been going through a lot of the responses from questions we asked and what you guys want to hear, what you want to work on. So I wanted to talk about self-doubt. Although I'm sure the only one, am I the only one who has self-doubt? Right? Self-doubt is a thing. Am I enough? Am I good enough? Was I meant to do this? And when we get to these points in our lives, yes, Crystal, imposter syndrome to the fullest. Why do we doubt ourselves? Why do we doubt ourselves? And I read a lot on this. I listen to a lot of things on this. You were not born doubting yourself. These thoughts that discourage you, these thoughts that make you doubt yourself, this is not from you. These things come from external sources, whether there are parents, whether there are teachers, whether they're bullies at school. These are from someone else, but they get their power when we look at them and we believe that they're true. And when we have a belief, what our mind then does is it says, okay, this is a belief. I have to find evidence that it's true. And we all know that if you look for evidence of something, you will find it. Right? You will find a way to find evidence of everything you've ever been told about yourself. When I was in high school, I'll share a story because I think the only way to make real connections and really help people understand where you're at is through vulnerability and being authentic. And I was raised by a mom who was raised by a dad with eating disorders. And because that's passed down, I am raised by a line of people who, unless you are a certain size, you don't have any worth. So I got to the point in my life as a teenager where I fully believed that if a boy asked me out or invited me to a dance, it was either because he felt bad for me or it was a prank. Like it was a Carrie situation where I was going to go to the gym and have a bucket of blood dumped on me because I felt so terrible about myself. And as I've grown and learned and, books and therapy and all the things, none of this comes from me. All of these things that we doubt about ourselves are simply not true. And they're given to us by people who feel badly about themselves. And they put this upon us because they're unhappy with who they are or where they are. So, how do we find self-confidence? How do we build that? I would love to hear, I'll tell you what I think. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear how you build confidence. For me, as I try to become better, I always consider myself a work in progress. And I look back and it's so funny to me when people are like, oh, you are so confident. You come across so this and so that. And I'm like, you have no idea that I am a chubby 13-year-old who is terrified. Because that's who I was. Tamar, let's hear it.
Hello, my dear. Sorry, my computer is it's acting up. My camera isn't on, but oh my gosh, you're speaking my language. So I used to actually have a really debilitating anxiety and panic disorder. And currently, my profession is I'm a mindset coach. This is what I do now as a job because I had such a horrible anxiety disorder that I could see my life going one of two paths. Path A was I was just going to kind of cope, but probably never be a happy person. And path B was I was going to learn about my mind and my body and figure out what this means and how to get over it. So fast forward to now. So you're describing perfectly your paradigm, right? Your paradigm is a series of decades of conditioning, right? So we are born into families that eat certain food and have certain preferences, right? And so many of the decisions that we make as adults and our perception of the world are shaped by our families and sometimes generations of perceptions and habits that are formed through us and shape how we see everything and therefore how we make decisions and how we see ourselves, right? And comments that our parents make or teachers or the bullies. Oh my gosh, I had that too. I remember I did ballet class as a little girl, and I remember I was called Thunder Thighs, and that was defined me as an 11-year-old, and I still remember it vividly. So one of the tools that I work with clients on is, first of all, beginning to identify which of your thoughts are your own and which of your thoughts were put into your mind by the people around you, by your family, or by your culture, family, teachers, friends, right? And once you start to identify those thoughts, the great thing is you can therefore reprogram your mind to think in a different way, right? So the good news is once you start to identify and understand what you think, you actually can challenge that. You can say, why do I think this? And then you can start to begin the process of changing those habits into new thoughts. And then it's a matter of the repetition. So I could talk about this all night long, but Carrie Ann, I love that you're sharing this vulnerability. It's really beautiful. And it's like this conscious habit that you have to take on of literally telling yourself a different message.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Thank you so much, Tamar.
Of course.
I
Oh my
was
gosh.
hoping, I was like, if I can get Tamar and Amy to say something, then like I have powerhouse women in here and I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
We got you. Of course.
Okay, Amy, let's hear what you have to say, babe.
Hello. Amazing.
Hello.
You. I'm so excited about all you shared, but this is literally something I deal with every single woman and man, by the way, who I coach with. And I think, for me, I'm a trauma specialist. I've been specializing in trauma for 20 plus years. And as I've shared with Carrie Ann, I almost lost my life to anorexia in the year 2000. And so this hits really, really deeply for me. And it's something I've navigated personally and professionally, and for me, I'm one of the coaches who comes underneath the mindset, and I deal with what's at the root of all of these cognitive distortions is what we call them, and conflicting thoughts when we look at our identity and we look at our resumes and we look at all we've done in life. And when even Oprah feels the effects of self-doubt, we know that, it isn't about the logic or the facts that really change how we feel, but it is about how we attune to ourselves. And one of the most important things that we have to heal is our trust in ourselves, because that's the worst betrayal of trauma. A child betrays themselves unwittingly when they don't protect themselves, and forever that wound is there until we start to address it and build that confidence muscle back up. And it can be in simple things, literally you can change your physical state and start to feel more confident. And those are superficial things you can do. Tony Robbins often will say, if you get this superhero stance where you stand with your legs at shoulder width position and you put two hands on your hips, you feel a whole lot more powerful. But to address it at the root, there are 4 questions that start to restore your trust in yourself. When you start to get in touch with who you are, what you're needing, what you're feeling throughout the day, and you can start keeping promises to yourself. It's doing what I call mirror work, looking in the mirror. And for anybody who remembers Saturday Night Live skits, may feel like one, but there's a reason that it works. Looking in the mirror, looking yourself straight in the eye and saying things like, I love you. I'm here for you. And I am not going to leave you, because I will bet any amount of money that the women in this room would fiercely guard and defend anyone you love. Like, you will go to the mat for them. But do we do that for ourselves when it comes to our confidence? You would give a pep talk to anybody you know, and yet we are hardest on ourselves. And every time we criticize, we erode our self-confidence. And so the 4 questions are, and I will drop these in the group too.
Oh, good.
What am I feeling?
I'll let you do it.
Either one, because I'm walking, as you probably guessed. What am I feeling right now? When have I felt this way before? What did I need in that moment? And how can I get that for myself now? And that simple path of questioning, for instance, you may have been, I remember feeling this when I was left alone and I was scared and I didn't know where, this would be a hypothetical, didn't know where my parents had gone. I felt completely terrified. And I needed to hear that somebody was here with me. Like I wasn't alone and I was going to be okay and they loved me. And it may need to eventually come from that person in our minds, but we can also give that to ourselves now. Or I need to be reminded if somebody's criticizing you for something related to your body, I need to be reminded that I'm more than my body. And my body, is not definitive of my value. And it's about figuring out, well, how could I be resourceful and get that for myself now? So I, again, could spend a lot of time, and I'm happy to put more information in the group, but hopefully that's helpful for people because it goes very, very deep. And it's helpful to change our thoughts, and it's helpful to do the deeper work behind those thoughts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amy.
Absolutely.
I love that we have so many of us in this group, and just in general in this entrepreneurial space, I feel because we are the type of women who want to do something on our own, we've had to overcome these things. And I think there's a lot of us who have these deeper traumas or deeper issues that we were able to just be like, no, it's fine. I can muscle through. I'm fine. I'm fine. And I love what you said about making promises to yourself. I read about this years ago from a lady named Byron Katie. And Ed Milet has spoke on it. Tony Robbins speaks on it. But simple things that we can do to create confidence in ourselves is building trust within ourselves and building a reputation that you keep your word to yourself. And these things don't have to be big. But when we say, you know what, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow and I'm going to do this, and then we don't, there's this little piece of ourself that says, see, you're not important. And it erodes our confidence. Whereas we can do things so small as, like, I lay out my clothes. I don't lay them out nicely. Like, I'm not that organized. I just simply pick the workout clothes for the next morning because I get up early, it's dark, and I have those. I'm going to lay out my clothes. I'm going to get this ready for tomorrow. And when I do those things, there's also this little part of me that's like, yeah, you did that, right? I honestly will be like, sometimes give myself a little pat. Or Mel Robbins talks about the high five, like give yourself a high five in the mirror for all the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Give yourself, like, acknowledge those things, because
it leaves fingerprints on the mirror, I've noticed.
I know, right? So you know what you do, Catherine? Here's a quick cleaning tip that I'm going to give you. You clean it with shaving cream, and it leaves a special kind of film that will not leave fog or fingerprints for about a week. But you do have to, like, kind of clean your mirror with fingerprints. It's totally doesn't seem like it should work, but it does.
I agree with you 100%. Like the Tony Robbins stuff. I was married for 30 years, and that man did not believe in snooze alarms. And I had a really bad habit in my early 20s of hitting the snooze alarm, and he just wouldn't have it. He just, like, that was probably a deal killer for the marriage. And so I learned not to use the snooze alarm. And I must say, when I've heard those things later on about people like making a deal with themselves, and the very first thing you do, the first thing in the morning, is you break your own agreement to yourself to get out of bed. So I think that, make your bed so you don't get back in it, and also my identity is as an athlete, because I've competed. So having that as part of my Instagram profile and posting my workouts is helpful for my own confidence, because I just tell myself sometimes, oh, I'm not a girl who drinks. I'm a girl who works out. Like, I use those words to myself, like, oh, people know me. They know that I'm someone who's consistent with my workout. People know me that way. And when I repeat those words, then it's like I have to hold myself to a higher standard, because I posted on Instagram. My friend asked me today, why do you post your workouts on Instagram? What does that have to do with real estate? And I said, that's a good question. But, you know, for me, and I try not to be provocative, but for me, people know me as this girl who works out. And I've had so many people tell me it inspires them to work out. So I said, you know, once I've started that, then I feel like if I don't do it, people think I must not be working out. And so I do it. Some people hire a coach, right? So I do that just to be like my own coach, and my own accountability partner, is putting it out there and in the ether that way. And I'd say similarly, like getting on stage as someone who has a real estate group, like getting on stage, you get more confident, because then people think you're some kind of expert. You don't have to be an expert, but if you're the one who gets on stage, then people are sitting down looking at you, they think you're an expert. And you know what? External validation is great. Like, for confidence, having someone say like, thank you for this, and I appreciate you. Like, Carrie, you're like, seriously, like, you're amazing. Like, you're amazing. I love your energy. I'm so glad I connected with you. And I can't believe you ever didn't have confidence, because you exude so much confidence. And I love it. I love being around you. And so I'd say, you know, being someone who can stand up for other people, or coach other people, or guide other people, you start to talk to someone else and you realize how much you know, and that reinforces, like, coaching other people and helping other people also gives confidence, right?
Right.
So just,
I love that. Thank you, Catherine.
sure.
That is, and you know what? I love your workouts, because I will also post mine. So
Yes.
we are the girls who work out. I love that. So
Yeah, just tell yourself that.
right. So I want everyone, I would love you to just take a minute to think, write it down. What is a promise you can make and keep to yourself? Big, small, I don't care. Because those things, as you make that promise, it compounds. That self-confidence then becomes and kind of changes and morphs into like a self-worth, because you're giving yourself this identity of, I keep my promises. Like you said, Catherine, I keep my promises. I do these things, and I must be important, because I'm important enough that I keep my promises to myself. I think most of us would never, if we promised, okay, honey, I promise you, I'm going to meet you here at this time, we would sooner die than not show up for our friend, for our sister, for our spouse. But how many times do we break a promise to ourselves simply because it's like, it's not that important? And we're the most important person we have. Because without our identity and without our self-worth, it's a very miserable life. And I firmly believe, as a very faith-believing Christian, we were sent here to learn, but we were sent here to have joy. We need to do those things that raise us up and lift us and bring us happiness and bring us fulfillment. And we can only have that as we progress. Being stuck, no one's ever been like, hey, you know what? I am
listening
stuck in
to
the
a
mud
Zoom.
and
What's
I'm
going on?
loving it. You know, no one's
Doing the
ever,
best I can.
no one's ever said, I'm stuck and it feels great. And because even just that option of, hey, guess what? I'm moving forward is 3,000 times better than being stuck. Because being stuck, you have no options. But we have so many options to make and keep promises to ourselves. So today, even for anyone who says like, I'm not good at it, I don't do it. No one started this way. I did not start as a disciplined person. I started growing that when I said, you know what? I am worth getting up at 4:30. I am worth the time to have silence to myself where I can pray and meditate and read and study. I'm worth that. If my kids and my spouse and my friends, if they're worth giving my time to, guess who else is worth giving my time to? And we can't give of ourselves to others if we are not in our best place. So I want you to find something today that you can start. We see this? That we can start tomorrow. Make that promise to yourself. And then in a week, find something else. I need you to get out, please. Eva, I would like you to go out, please.
Can we have a popsicle?
Not until you get out, because I don't have a freezer.
Can we?
Yeah. Thank you. This is what happens when you have 6 kids. Popsicles. But find something, compound this effect. And every time you do it, acknowledge it to yourself. When you find that you got up, give yourself a pat on the back. Even give yourself a high five, even if it makes your mirror all smudgy. Because you're worth it, Catherine. You smudge up that mirror, lady. You are worth it. But make those things to yourself. Give those things to yourself. Stack it, commit to it, and you're just going to grow. I'm opening it up to the floor. Any thoughts? Any thoughts, feelings, questions, ideas? It's a safe space. I can tell you more of my problems. You don't want to hear more of my problems.
I think that's powerful, Carrie Ann, and just to, have that one digestible step to do really does multiply, so I love all this.
Thank you. I have an idea, and I haven't floated it to Katie, so I'm totally going off script. What does everyone think? We can talk about this in the group. I'll make a post about it. I think it would be amazing to do a book club where we all find a book, and then have maybe like every other week do a Zoom where we discuss our thoughts, our ideas. And I would love it if we could focus at least every other book on self-development so that we're not just growing our relationships, because the relationships in here are amazing. And the women in here and the power in here is awesome and off the charts. But I think we also need to find ways to just level up. If we're already doing these things, doing the hard work and growing, I say we turn up the trajectory by just growing our skills, growing our communication, growing all those things that we're already good at. And just like to the moon. Like I always say, I'm about here. Like my trajectory is pretty good, but when I have others, it's here. And then when I add God, it's like there. So I can't even. I told Katie once when we were at Squat Up and she said, what are your goals? Like, what do you want in the next year? And I said, honestly, I can't think that high, because everything that has happened since we moved here 7 months ago changed our lives completely. Everything was turned upside down when my husband became disabled 3 years ago. We did the hard things. We sold our custom home. We moved our 6 kids. We left all our family, all our friends. We came to a place where we knew no one and said, okay, I'm going to do real estate. All I've ever done is I've been a personal trainer. I've taught group fitness. I've done marketing for our pharmacy. My husband provided an amazing life for us, and all of a sudden it was gone. But as we commit to those things and we daily work on, I'm going to get better. And even if I'm not 100%, I'm working. I'm not giving up. I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm taking steps forward. that's where we then become the person who reaches the next level. And so I just say we reach the next level together, because whole like many hands make light work. Like, let's change our trajectory so we're not at 30 degrees, but we are going straight up, and we're going together, and we're working together, and we're partnering, teaming into relationships, into partnerships, whether they're in business, whether they're friendships, and just realize the power of what we have, because it's an amazing thing. So I want to do the book idea. I'll probably do it by myself if no one wants to do it, but I will do it on my own. I read 3 books a month. So I would love to do that. And then for next week, Katie will be back. I may just take over another time, because I think it's a lot of fun and I love getting to interact more. And I hope I did Katie justice, because I think this has been great. I feel so blessed to be part of this group. I feel so blessed to have all of you in my life, and to have something that we can build together. So unless anyone else has any final thoughts, ideas, anyone? Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, ladies. I really do. Let's grow this community. Don't keep it to, we can't keep it just to ourselves, because we have something really, really great here. And it doesn't just have to be any woman in real estate. I don't care what group she's in. I don't care what mastermind she's in. Get her in here. Let's share the wealth. Let's share the love. Let's grow, come back stronger. Set your promise to yourself tonight. Since my kids have been out of school, I have not been as good about getting up on time, because they don't want to go to bed. Making a promise to myself. Marcy knows. She's like, oh, honey. Yes. Yes. The kids are out of school. It throws everything out of whack. It just does. But you know what? That's also okay. Things change. There are seasons. I am getting up an hour later, because I cannot hang that late when I'm getting up at 4:30 and my kids want to hang. So, it has been a blessing. Thank you all for being here. Reach out to me on Instagram. It's just my name, Carrie Ann Klomp. If you have deals you want to lend on, if you have deals you need lending on, anything, reach out to the group, reach out to me. Let's get together. Let's do great things. And I will see you all next week. Take care, ladies. Take care. Have a good week.
You too.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.